two planets actually. It's three conjunctions, two planets. And it's Saturn and Jupiter. Two of the biggest planets in the solar system. Sorry. But actually it is you also get the moons and stuff like that around. So actually it's not good. So anyway, what the conjunction would be so you can see both of them side to side because the sun's reflecting down. Anybody here doesn't know what the solar system looks like?
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you don't know?
Yeah, I said I got that.
Okay, good. Okay, so the sun's shining down. Of course, one of them is closer to us than the other. The sun reflects back to the earth. Okay. This conjunction is called the Judah king. So the reason the Magi was looking for the king of the Jews was because this told them it was the king of the Jews who was being born. Now remember, they came from the east. Okay? Now they said they followed the star from the east. Now, my own personal opinion, it was they taught that because it was the Judah king was supposed to be born, they went to Jerusalem because that's where, you know, because the hanging right over the manger and all that stuff. Well, why would they have had to go to Jerusalem to ask where the king of the Jews was supposed to be born if they already knew it with the light hanging over the, okay. And it says they followed the star after that, right? What they followed was the directions that they were given to how to get to Bethlehem. The star was just included to keep your interest peaked because it was one of the witnesses, because God put it there. God put this in motion, right, to bring this about. Now, anybody here like do astronomy or anything?
Well, you're interested in it, yeah.
Okay. There's some certain things that you look at and you say, okay, this is supposed to have this meaning, this is supposed to have that meaning, if you study it that deep. Believe it or not, astronomy is probably one of the oldest, not religions, I guess, sciences, if you want to go, that has ever been. Because not only were people fascinated by looking at stuff like this, but they also use it to do what? Guide them when they're sailing, guide them when they're they didn't have GPSs, they didn't have compasses. That's what they used to guide them in their journeys, because they wanted to make sure that they was going the right direction. God did the same thing. He put something up there to guide these men to that direction to see that it was due time. Now notice that reason that you know that the star wasn't over the manger and the thing, because how old was Jesus at the time?
Older.
Huh?
He was older.
He was older because he went to the home. According to Luke, he's already been circumcised. He's already been dedicated by this time, because according to Luke, he was born in the manger. The time the Magi gets there, where did he go? To the house, a house. Now, here's what the way the census was, they had to go in there, they had to all get, so once they got it done, they left. So as that was happening, you know, the population of Bethlehem was going down to find where they could go there. Now, it wasn't like us today. They couldn't do it boom, 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 and go on. It took time. Now, I don't know how long it took to actually count everybody and then say, okay, now this is what your taxes is going to be. You know, it could have took a couple of years to do that. Now, I don't know what Joseph did for a living, or you know, or if he had, supposedly he had kinfolk there, because that was where his ancestors were. So he probably had some cousins there, maybe an uncle or whatever that lived there. So they probably just lived with family. So 2 years later, approximately, because it says that what did Herod do after that?
Oh, he decreed that the 2-year-olds and under.
Yeah. Okay. So at least 2 years from the time, the day these put it all together. Now, at first, you know, it's like, okay, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Now, you can actually plot this. You can say, okay, this is coming here, and it's coming here, it's coming here. because every time it gets closer and closer. And finally they said, okay, that's what that means. That's the reason they knew that the star, because it was the Judah star, a Judah king star, and it pointed them to a time and place. Now, with the what Herod did, he showed us that this this happened, and then finally the time they saw it and they got to here was approximately 2 years. Now, it could have been a year and a half, could have been a year, because what Herod did was say, okay, when did they say they saw this? Okay, all right, 2 years old, younger, kill him. Okay, now, any questions about how we got from here to here? Okay. How many magi were there? Didn't say. There's no.
Tradition says 3 because even Catholic tradition gives names. I think it's
Yeah.
they actually give 3 names, but they don't really know.
Yeah, just magi. Magi is a plural for astronomers. There were only 3
gifts.
gifts.
You assume 3.
So that's what people did. But
Tradition says
we don't know.
The Magi weren't Jewish, we don't know.
Well,
Do
we don't know because you know where they came from, don't you? Babylon, supposedly around Babylon.
But they could have been
They could have been.
left over from the Jewish.
Right.
Could have been.
Why are they coming to worship the Jewish king?
Well, they were looking for the coming of
Right.
the king.
Now, for what purpose, it never explains that. Were they looking because they wanted to worship it? Well, they said it came to worship the king. But their idea of the king, and they thought, they went to Herod, and they was thinking, oh, this is going to be great. You know, Herod should have really liked this. But he didn't, did he? So they was going, so we can see that they weren't going there because they thought it was going to be a controversy for Herod. If they would never went to Herod. Because they wanted to go worship him, and they wasn't about to go in there and allow somebody that would have the capability of killing him to do away with it. So they had.
If you're going to look for a king, you'd probably go to the palace, or
And that's where they.
thinking that's where he's going to be.
Yeah. Of course, we always see that they were wealthy people. Whether it was 3 or 50, they were wealthy people. Because the gifts they gave were extremely valuable. Of course, we know about gold. And I don't know much about frankincense and myrrh, but I heard that they were very, very expensive perfumes, scents, mixtures for something. Anybody know what they are? Whatever they are, they're not here and they don't know more. But we know what gold is. Gold is. Huh?
They're a resin that comes out of I don't know what, but they're real hard. I've had them before. And it's like a resin, you know, kind of, you see
Fragrant.
through it, and it smells really good.
So you're saying there's a plan there?
Yes.
That's what I hear you say.
There's a plan. And as you study, it's like, man, I didn't realize that it was pointed there. Because the more I've studied this, the more I said, it's obvious. Why couldn't they see that? Of course, they couldn't look at it all together like we can. I mean, we are blessed, extremely blessed, that we can open up a book without any problem. You know, somebody coming in here and arresting us for it, like they did at one time in the Jewish life, and be able to understand what all this meant. That God would so loved us that He let this happen. Now, what is the due time? I'm going to give you my date. Okay? We know because we have good, believe it or not, Roman historians were really good about dating things. Now, Herod, who killed the babies, died in 4 BC. Okay? So we know Jesus couldn't have been born after that. Okay?